feel weird.
Oh, why? Why do you feel weird?
This is going to be episode 24 with Cutting It Close with Cliff and Kelsie.
Yes, thank you, Kelsie.
We've got Kristle here for the intro.
Yes.
Isn't it great?
Oh, it's recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're experimenting with the format. There's no like hard and fast rule. We just want to try to have the guest in. Just finished conversation. It was so fun. It's definitely
So great. Kristle, you're such a talent. You're so awesome to chat with.
No.
It's our longest so far of this new iteration.
Oh, yeah?
It didn't
How
feel
long
like that,
was
though.
that?
It was like
Didn't
almost an hour 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that way.
It didn't feel like
Great.
it at all.
Really great.
So yeah, we talk about her recent film Sincerely Kay, which is amazing. And
So she's gonna go to grad school soon, or she just
yes.
applied to grad school.
Yeah.
So we'll see where she goes.
talking about Taylor Swift a bit.
Yes.
And Star Wars.
yes. And we just had a good
Touch on
old
a little
time.
bit of everything.
Yeah. Do be sure to follow us if you're not already at Cutting It Close Pod on Instagram, Facebook. I don't think we have a Twitter. We might have a Twitter. I don't know.
Definitely on the YouTubes.
Yes. Yes, there is a YouTube channel. So I was clearing my throat. Rolled with it.
Drum roll, please.
Yes. Yeah. So it's been fun so far. This new thing we've
been really
we've
fun.
been doing, and yeah. Next week we've got a fun guest coming in, John Wells.
John Wells,
Ooh,
yes. I know, it's gonna be a good one, right?
Yeah. You'll have a good time.
And so is that it?
I think that's
We're
it.
good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Anything
you
you
want to
want to add?
No, you'll hear it later.
Okay, all right. Well, please enjoy our conversation with Kristle Backe here in episode 24 of Cutting It Close with Cliff and Kelsie.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.
St. Anthony's?
No, it's at Kaimuki Middle School.
Oh, so it's like a public school thing. Wow, that's awesome.
Like better.
I don't know. It's just nice that they offer that kind of a class to a public school.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I know, I was just kind of writing out the agenda today, and I just hope it goes well. I kind of just want it to be a good time. And they're young, they don't need to know all the information, but I feel it's more like getting used to working with people and
Yeah. Well, what about holding a camera? Are you guys gonna bring cameras in there?
yeah, we're gonna bring in cameras and stuff, and maybe later. But it's kind of I'm just curious to see what they want from it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just testing the waters the first day. And
Yeah.
Even though I'm already committed to
Yeah, and you're
doing
making
the
an
whole
agenda.
semester.
The curriculum.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, which I've done before because I wanted to make a film festival.
Oh, neat.
That's
Kristle, you're
one
so
of
awesome.
I'm just like my mom who has 5,000 ambitions.
Yeah.
I've made a film proposal, a film festival proposal because I really wanted to start one in Saipan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I so badly wanted to, and it was the same thing that I had to teach it. I had to teach this film class, and then at the end of it we rented out a whole theater. And then we just bring all the parents and all the people who want to see, and it's the whole film. And it was my first 30-minute film that I've made, and it was a Star Wars fan film.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Literally
That's
every
such a wild
single.
card.
I know, dude. And it's because they're called the Mount Carmel School Knights, and then I don't know, they just love Star Wars.
Jedi Knights. Mount
Yeah.
Carmel School.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
so every single, literally during nap time, we would watch a movie, and it was Star Wars, and I had never seen Star Wars,
Ah.
and so I had to watch it, and all these kids were so into it, and I literally made a story about them wanting to make it's like a film in a film.
That's cool.
And it was like a bully. He's like, you're never gonna get the Jedi like character. And he's like so like pouty. And so it was just like, I drove myself insane. I was editing in the theater the morning of, and I was just like exporting.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I wanted to cry.
But
It was like a really cool experience. It's the reason why I want to continue like teaching.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, you can do your intro now.
No.
It was so great.
That's great. We try to keep it as casual as possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of ruined it the last couple times. Like, so hey, welcome to Kidding Cliff.
Yeah, and then everyone just like,
Yeah, like,
hi again.
Yeah. So yeah, we can just keep
Recap
going.
of what we've done.
We'll edit an intro later and.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
good.
this is great, but yeah.
So you're gonna make a film festival inside Pan.
Dude, one day.
That's
like
such a great goal.
That's
so
amazing.
That's really giving
the
back,
proposal
to
was
your
still
community.
there. The proposal, I had emailed it to a couple people, and I'm waiting for it to be approved.
Are you sending it to like the state or
To the school systems, I think.
Okay.
Well, see, when I did that class that I taught, it was under a school, and it was like a principal, and so we worked together, and so he was kind of like my partner, and I sent it to him and stuff, and then we were gonna do it, and then like just things during the summer, like he went to New York and all those things, and so I was like, okay, maybe now or now, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Yeah.
It's a goal of mine, and
Keep pushing those buttons though.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I really, really want to.
So you want to have it more like high school aged filmmakers?
I feel
or
like
you're gonna open it up.
I don't. What do you mean by open it up? Like to anyone?
Yeah.
I
To,
think
adult
I would.
filmmakers.
That
You're
would be
saying
really
you're, like,
cool
pitching it
too.
to schools at first, and then you would.
I think I would open it to anyone who'd want to.
Yeah.
Like I moved to Texas when I was 13.
Okay.
Would be the summer before we left Texas. I was maybe
From
like
Saipan, you moved to Texas.
from Palau. I moved to Texas.
Okay.
And then I lived there for like 3 years and something. Yeah. And then right before we left, my mom put me in an awesome film festival camp, summer camp. But I didn't know.
That's so cool.
But like I didn't know I was
Sure,
gonna
yeah.
be a
That's true.
filmmaker at all.
That's true.
Like
And
I
that
was.
Austin is like the coolest place to do film.
Yeah,
right now.
seriously. Like
So lucky.
I like just submitted my film to like show there and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I didn't at the time like know what I wanted to do, and I just did it. And I don't even remember my role. Like
yeah.
I was just part of it in the background, and everyone knew all these like that's where I learned Celtics. The Celtics
that's
or whatever.
so great.
And like this
Wait, were you,
guy.
like 15? How old were you?
I was like 15, 14. Because it was right when summer started, and I turned like 15.
You were
during the summer.
screenwriting at 15 years old.
Oh, dude, I was not
Great.
writing at all.
But
I think I was like, hold this here. Like I don't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's cool because things turned out even in like senior year of high school. I didn't know. I took an intro to film class the semester after we applied to all our colleges.
Oh.
So it was the last semester.
Okay.
And like I would call like one of my bravest moments was when my teacher was like, he's like a new teacher, and he's like, who wants to direct a film? And like I know I make family home videos at home. Like I made my own, like one of my first films is a music video of me singing a Taylor Swift song. Yes. Like me, like my eyes closed, and I'm like playing the guitar.
Yeah, so
And
So moody.
yeah,
Yes.
like I made like my brother or something hold the guitar here, and I would go over there, get a tripod, like frame it, then go back, and then I'd be like, press record, and then I'd be like, do. And then I edited this whole thing, and like that was my first film. I like never showed it to anyone, so no one knew. And so when my teacher was like, who wants to direct this film, or who wants to direct a film? And there's this guy who makes a video ever since he was like a sophomore or something, I don't know. He wanted to, and then there's the other guy who was like super popular. He raised his hand, and I was like, I do. Like I just like I don't know. Like I'm like just do it, and I
From
made
inside of you just sprung up.
yeah. And so I raised my, and I think that's one of my bravest because I don't know what would have happened if I didn't.
Right.
But not that it brought me anything, but I had
No, it
so
started
much
you on some
fun.
path.
Yeah, about your experience.
Yeah, like I used to write scripts, and like my dad would come home and I'd be like, read my script, and he'd be like, cool, and and he'd be like, read my script, and I like would look up how you write scripts and stuff. So that was like, I don't know, and I don't know. The story was really just like complex too, and like it's it's also very like narrative and very like it's a different way of like how I see films now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I took that. I don't know why I'm talking about this.
That's
like what? Like how did we start talking?
no, that's wonderful. I mean, that's one thing I want to get to is like, how did you get into filmmaking?
Yeah, that's kind of it. And it's really family home videos. Like, you know, your answers change over time and stuff. And I found myself like a few years ago saying that I used to reflect on how hard it is to be a parent, you know, and I think it was someone who was really close to me said, you know, you never know whether you're raising your child right, and it's terrifying every day because you never feel like you're enough, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of like, I never ever pictured my parents like being in a room and thinking about that because of how happy we are all the time. And I think that comes from like having a time where it's been like, what is like family and what is like father and mother, you know? And then, or just like, this is like, my idea of family was so like, I felt like growing up, and still to this day I have like trouble with like identity issues, and are you the same person like sitting right here as the same person sitting down in your room, you know, and like thinking about like the world this way, and then you sit here and you're like, I don't know, but I don't know, it really shocks me that my parents would ever feel that way. And so I thought like making videos, and it really like, even when I visited my family this Christmas, my dad was like, do you really think our family would be the same? Like he asked everyone, would you think our family would be the same way if Kristle didn't make any of these family home videos? And it's like, it's like we look at it and then we look like we have a lot of these things in our heads and we don't feel like we're enough, and then these are like legit reflections of who we are and what we do, and like we're laughing and we're cracking up and we're making jokes and we're making sketches, and that's what we're doing with our time. And
Oh my god.
and it's just like I feel like it's done so much, and it's crazy. And they're like I made a documentary of myself.
Hey, that's cool.
Like freshman year,
Sure.
like for the 310, like you have to make a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And it's awful because I'm like in my film, and people are like, God, this girl just has to not like. I remember.
Yeah, we've all done that.
I remember going to like Marlene and being like, can I make a documentary about me trying to make a band? Because I wanted to kill two birds with one stone.
That's so great.
And she was like, you have to stop filming yourself, Kristle.
Oh, she's so sweet.
But in a really like nice way, and I was like, oh yeah, I do that a lot, because she was also my 310 like teacher. Yeah. But for my 310 documentary, I remember saying that our family, like, it's just these videos are my photo albums, because I only had one ever since I was a child, and I think like growing up in technology, my parents film like my siblings all the time. There's a part of me that was like, oh, like my mom like puts all these like live videos and stuff, and it's just like my photo album is like these videos that I make with my family. So.
That's funny, your experience with Marlene. When I took her documentary production class, that's when I was working on my 399, Return to Life, and so everything was focused on that, so I wanted to make my documentary on that. And she was like, that's fine, just get someone to interview. I was like, okay.
So you set up the camera.
I set up a plant for my eye line.
Okay. Oh my God. What do you mean? Like
yeah, it's like who I'm talking to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And,
Talking head interview. Yeah.
And she said that was like my best interview. Who did you get to interview you? I was like, family friend.
Yeah.
But I couldn't.
That's funny.
My conscience got to me later. It was like, yeah, it was a plant. She's like, wow, you did very well.
Yeah, just like that's funny. That's so smart, because when I did my interview myself, I put the camera. You know how it kind of like opens like this way?
Yeah.
I'm like facing this way, but I'm looking this way.
Nice, yeah.
But it's like
Oh, they can see right through
yeah,
that.
I know. You can totally like that's not even where the person would be. But it's I don't know. Like I made the video.
It's tough,
it's
man.
done.
Film school's tough.
I know, and especially 310 when you feel like you're kind of doing it alone.
We don't want to ask for help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially 310.
Yeah,
We're all trying
which
to
is
prove
such like
ourselves.
as a someone who's growing up, like asking for help is it's much more than like you feel like a burden and stuff, but I feel like I don't know, like asking for help is more like putting your ego down.
Oh yeah.
You know, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm ashamed that like it's like you're afraid to show that you need help. And like there was just a point where I was like, you can't continue this.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
And literally everyone needs help. In film, you need so many hands on a project. So
Yeah.
why do we feel like that? It's
Yeah.
a hump that is essential to get over in 310.
Yeah. Oh, it took me much longer.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah.
Well, because you're asking a bunch of people to come in on basically a fantasy that you had.
Yeah, and it feels like it's all about you.
Yeah, yeah.
And like,
Who am I to ask for help?
Yeah.
You know? That's one side of it.
yeah. Well, what made you think like? What made you finally ask for help?
Well, I don't want to get too deep into that. I just knew that what I wanted to accomplish was much more than I could handle on my own, and so I pitched the idea to a small
Which
group.
your pitch was very well like.
Oh, you're talking about the 399.
Oh,
I wish
yeah.
I was there for that pitch.
Just for
Damn.
the 310.
Oh, I see.
For the concepts. I had a group of friends, filmmakers who meet up in Kailua, or used to meet up in Kailua, and I pitched it to them, and they're like, let's do it! And so they pretty much ran with it and got the whole crew and everyone for that one day.
For
And-
Crossroads.
Yeah.
So this is for 310.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember this. Yeah.
That's what I used in my pitch for my 399.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that experience, that was just one day for a 7-minute thing. I knew we were going to need something similar, and I just because I'm in my late 30s, so I've been through the mill a few times. I think like the first time I realized I need to ask for help and was able to was when I was like 23 or 24. And I was like really into debt, like 10 grand in debt, and a family friend bailed me out on the caveat that I would then pay them back. And they would teach me how to be financially responsible. So that's what it was for me. And I think that's, the whole thing about asking people for help is a universal thing, not just for filmmakers, but in this case, especially for filmmakers.
Yeah.
Because it does take. But I've also been listening to other indie filmmakers, most notably the Duplass brothers. Do you know them?
Oh my God. Okay, so you posted a book called Like Brothers.
Yes.
I have the same book.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Dude, I
Yes.
would sit out of my room reading it and like laughing, crying. Like they're so funny.
Yeah.
And I was gonna like comment too, but I'm so glad you brought it up. Because once you posted it up, my dad had just not my dad, my grandmother, because she lives in New Orleans, and so
Okay.
these two brothers, they start in New Orleans or something, and you should just read about them. And I was like, okay. And I remember like it's been like sitting on my shelf for a long time, and there's just a day where I was doing nothing, and I found myself just like wasting it away watching YouTube videos or like on my phone, and I was like, that's it, I just need to read a book. So I was like, I'm gonna grab this book, and it was like, I don't regret it at all, but I'm not done. But I remember just great book.
Haven't finished it.
Read it, yeah.
I'm full of love the first half.
But it's
The
just
preface
so
was-
good. Like, there's like a part where they talk about this video they first made together, and it's like just so well told, because it's not just like the script. It was like, this is literally what they did and what they used to like make it happen. They were so creative. I can't even like remember what it was, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I remember like telling my dad, I'd be like, dude, this is so funny. I'm so happy I read it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to borrow it from one of you.
How I first heard of them was through You Made It Weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
Mark
guess.
and Jay Duplass are each on it various times earlier last year.
Gotcha.
Is that a podcast?
Yeah. That's how we met, actually.
We
Or
listen to the
got
same
into
podcast.
Yeah. It was
I
like,
had it on my phone because I was listening to it in class, and he looked over and he's like, "No way, you're a weirdo," which is like what those podcast listeners call themselves. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. That was like the very last day of class, too.
Oh, it's so meant to be.
Yeah.
What class is this? What?
It
It
was
was Vili's class.
one of Billy's classes,
Yeah.
Oh.
What was that class?
I don't remember,
awesome.
like, as indigenous
Islander.
aesthetics or
Yeah,
something,
something like
or Pacific Islands portrayal in Hollywood, or something like that.
That sounds right.
Kind of the same.
We'll go with that.
But
great
the whole reason I bring that up, like they talk about how they have done it on their own terms since the beginning, filmmaking,
Yeah.
and they got the opportunity to work with a professional crew and make a feature film, make it all professional, and it stunk. Like they didn't even get it out of editing. Like they made a rough cut.
I reached that part of the book.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it.
And then as they go along, they, oh shoot, the way they freaking broke into the industry is
They're like $3 movie.
$3,
Yeah,
3-minute
yeah.
short film in the Sundance.
Yeah.
That's their budget.
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah.
Well, because it was just the tape.
Yeah, it was just a videotape. Yeah.
They just needed the DVD.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was so good. And I thought it was so good. I was just describing someone else how brilliant it was, is because it kind of shows like our like crisis over absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's about this guy. He's like, my name is John,
Uh-huh.
and he decides to like do his like voicemail thing, and he's like, my name is John. Leave it. And he's like, my name is John. Please leave it. And like he like cries, like it's like a crisis. And then I
Yes.
forgot how it ends actually.
I haven't seen it. I forget how.
I actually looked it up. You can
no
watch it on
kidding.
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like, I really want to watch this. Who are these people? What do they look like? Da, da, da. And it's crazy how to put faces to like the things you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I looked it up.
Wait,
and
so they entered that film into Sundance?
Yeah, and they got in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they got in on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was really good.
But oh, sorry.
Nothing. I was like, look up. My name is John.
Yes.
To-do list.
Noted.
So good.
But as their career progressed to the point where they're at today, they started working with studios and they were doing stuff, but they figured like the stuff that they really love is like smaller crew and smaller cast and that kind of thing. So my first experience with cast and crew was on Crossroad Station and then RTL, and it was like 50
But that was
people.
like a lot.
It was
You were like a
bonkers.
director to me. I'm not kidding. Like I've never been in such a big crew before.
Me neither.
Yeah, you were all like you handle it so like you were like living your life and your dream.
Oh,
Like
God.
I have some photos of you, but they're all in film.
Oh,
I'm gonna send it to you one day.
Thanks.
Yeah, when I can look for it.
But yeah, like, and just for me, I've been thinking like I would like to go back and do stuff with a smaller cast and crew. And
Yeah.
the whole thing about asking for help, like, what are your thoughts on like, large professional stuff versus smaller stuff? Like, what was it like on Sincerely K?
Oh, it was super, super, like to the point where I think it was just me. I was just like, let's burn paper. This letter means a lot. Burn it, So, I mean, it's just like, it's super, super small.
But you had some scenes where there was plenty actors in it. And you had to bring in some crew and you had art direction and wardrobe.
That was like anxiety off the roof. Like I think it's because, and I don't know how to change this because I feel like how I write seems to just like, it's not that I even put it to paper because when I was in scenes with people, it was kind of like this is why it was so emotionally exhausting, but every scene, if I were making a scene with you or something, I would sit down and I would literally just tell you and not just, it would be all the things that I can't put to paper. Like I can't it's too much to put in paper. Like one thing like during like school was sometimes like they were kind of like, you don't need to write this down. Like it would be an emotion. It would be like, and then the person looks away. And I feel like they're beats too, but it's kind of like, it was wrong to write in paper. And so or like the emotions, and it's like, you can't just tell someone to be sad,
Yeah.
So I would sit down across someone and tell them how it feels emotionally and if it's happened. And it becomes a conversation and then it becomes a scene. Yeah, so it's like, I feel when I'm working with a big group of people, a lot, like these crew, like the crew members, I feel like they can be helpful if they know what they're doing. And like, so you sit down with the crew and then you tell them like, this is what the scene's gonna be about. And it's kind of like, okay, And so like, that's the anxiety is just watching people kind of like watch you. So I don't, like sometimes I don't know. And something about that I know needs to change. Like I can't, having a small crew is so nice, but what happens if you need like a big crew? And what if you need all these extras? Like when I had all these extras, I remember, oh my God. I remember I had to like film this reunion and this family, and it was like all white family because these people were, it was like, when I went to Philippines, my brother was the only like white person who came and saw what my life was like with all these Filipinos, and I didn't even know these people either. And he saw my family. And I remember growing up, I had also like when our parents like married and stuff, and we went to Christmas with his family. I was like the only brown girl. So basically, like the little girl there was me, and everyone there was just like this family that you have really no connection to. And I remember we were like by the pool, and they're like, so what is the scene about? And I remember like being like, well, you're a different family. You know, like it was just it was. I don't, you know, like I feel like everyone directs differently.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like if someone heard me, I would just, it's like, just sit there. No, it was more just like, I don't know what to tell you, just like, you guys are family, you know, and da-da-da. And then it's more about like the girl and stuff. But
well, it's hard when you're directing an experimental piece.
Yeah, like
there's that you can tell them about.
Yeah, that's I just have to tell them who they are, and like it does take a lot of effort to kind of explain to people what their role is being that person.
Yes.
And another thing I find is being a director, and I really learned this from Joel, is that like these actors, they're there and they're doing these things for you, but they're also like, you're their audience, and like like when he said that, it really like. You know, like in theater, you have all these people who can clap when you do something great.
Yeah.
Now, all these actors, they can't hear all these people clapping the theater. You need to be that person clapping for them right there.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to give all this love and attention. And like at the end of the day, you're so like, I feel like you're just so spread thin. And like, how much love do you have left to give to yourself? So every day I remember just like coming home and being like it's so hard to convince yourself that you're telling all these people what to do and who are helping you.
Yeah.
And you have to go home at the end of the day and say like what you're doing is right. Somehow.
Yeah.
And it's like,
right.
How?
Yeah.
You know, like, and sometimes it's so, like, what is this all for?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's really all for you, but it's like, I feel like then your purpose needs to be so much bigger than yourself. And, and then again, like, art is such an outlet, and then, like, I don't know. It just becomes such a...
You gotta remember that they want to be there, too. That's their passion,
Yeah.
too.
Right.
What they're getting out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Actors want to perform. They don't get to do it often.
True, but I feel like... I guess. It's so hard to think that when you're thinking about, like...
Right, because it's your piece.
Yeah.
It's from your brain. Yeah,
like you're
that's
just
hard.
hoping you can give enough back to them, and you're like, am I even doing enough for them? But it's like what you can do best is to just do what you need to do in order for it to like. Oh God, it was such a learning, a great learning like period. I've never felt so like alone before, but it was important. It was really I would do so many things differently going back for sure. Yeah, it's like. Definitely a lot of things different.
Yeah. Was this your largest production so far?
Yeah, I've never. So when I went to, like, I've been like asked this before, but when I went to Paris, like I thought, like I was like, I'm gonna do this film, da da da. And then I like wrote it out and I pitched it to 410 and it didn't work, which is like I think meant to be because it ended up being my 399.
Yeah.
Like you imagine having a crew who doesn't even want to be there. You know, like it all worked out.
Yeah.
And so I remember I pitched and I was like, that's it. There's like no turning back. Like I'm not gonna. So yeah, I kind of just did it because one, I was like I know this is like. Not normal, not normal, but like this is not a normal way to approach it. And especially like in the auditions and even like how you set a scene and you're like doing it with someone else. But I was like, I just have to try it. Like the only time to do it is now. Yeah. And even though I don't totally believe that's true. And also like, what is it? I had to complete. I don't know because I don't really like. Put all of myself into something all the time. Yeah. And I needed to know what I was capable of if I did do something wholeheartedly. And so every weekend, like it took like 18 days of shooting, all in all. And like you're only supposed to do like 3 weekends. But so you're only, right. So you're only supposed to do like 3 weekends. So I found people every other day who can possibly help me. So every person was like, they're all different. And some people would only come and like film it and like, and then I would never like see them again. You know, it was kind of just those type of things. But I was like, I can't, like I have to put like my heart and soul in it. I can't like, it's like film is what I found is such a long like results are it's not a short-sighted thing.
Right.
Like you cannot like songs. I feel like you can kind of like start it, end it in a month. But like film, oh my God, it's like it's a long process. And to remind yourself every single day what that purpose was, it's just like a lot of meditation and a lot of like being alone and because a lot of things just distract you and it's I don't know if it feeds. I don't know. It's a lot of things I don't know.
What's the timeline like? So you went to Paris and then you came back and you did Sincerely Kay?
Yeah, I just came back and I went back home to Saipan, and then 410 happened, and I remember I wrote like a script for 410 just to like pitch it, and it was literally just scenes that like didn't really like tie together, but it was like literally like my film, like it'd be a scene of this and a scene of that and a scene of that, and then I'm sure that's probably why I didn't get chosen because you were like, what am I reading? The pitch is so
It's
different.
hard to pitch experimental.
Yeah, well, when I pitched it, well, I see that how I pitched it to the ACM like faculty and everything and everyone there was I would sit in a room. I know you were there.
Yeah.
I would sit in a room. I was sitting in a room, and I was like so nervous.
Oh.
My PowerPoint didn't have a single like. It had words probably like family.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
core
my God.
values and just a bunch of pictures. And then I would just talk like this and just say, like when you're young and things change, your responsibilities or your roles in family changes too. So you're no longer like your brother's best friend. You're like your brother's second mom, and then he doesn't want to talk to you anymore, and now you're both alone. And you feel like you put that on him, and you also just feel alone just having da-da-da, and then you see all these things, and you apply it to your life, and you go, that's literally my pitch. And I had such great advice with Anne, where she was just kind of like, because I was going to be like, I need like this much money for a camera and like waste all this time and like logistical things. And she was just like, just save it to the end. The last questions they want to. And I was like, okay, perfect. So all I did was talk. And then I was like, that's it. And that's it.
Wow.
That's like literally it. And then they asked the questions. And I just put like 350 as my budget. This is like the awful producer to me. And I remember like leaving and I remember Casey was probably like, why did you do that? You should have just like, and I was like, all I need is a camera, and then food, like maybe, like I thought, I don't know what I was thinking, but it was nowhere to like just $300.
Right.
Like, I put a lot of my own
No
money
one
in
thinks
there.
about food.
Yeah, and food and just like I didn't realize like how many days and how my scenes don't just become like a scene of a wedding and then it cuts to like you alone or mom being alone. It goes like a whole day of everyone meeting and then like eating and all these shots and it's like I don't know. It turned out.
Turned out amazing.
Really great.
Thank you.
I was so happy to finally see it.
It's funny because Joel was my supervisor, and he was like, Kristle, I didn't know what your film was until you made it, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure that's what I mean having a crew who's like, what am I doing here? What am I making? What is she doing? Like, and like Shanika just helped me like. It was like not only the emotions that you have to set with the actors. It was like talking to Shanika and being like this is what the scene is emotion. But my God, when you feel it, just start rolling. Just roll as much as you can. Like we were just like just roll.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't stop and she would move around and the editing will take care of it. Just if you feel something, you see something, and like she just. It wasn't just them, it was her. It was, it was
That's awesome.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like editing?
It's
because
like
So many hours.
Yeah.
You gotta watch through that footage. Visceral stuff.
It's like watching an impressionistic painting.
Or like imagining someone like sitting in front of a canvas just be like
Well, no. It's like the experience of you go and view an impressionistic painting and it's like all these like strokes and whatever and you can see the picture, but like yours is like it's constantly moving and changing and circling back and getting you right here.
It's been a lot of crying and tears. Like not even crying over stress because that happened too. But a lot of crying. Like I would like it would just like bring me back, or it was I was very close to it, and I've been told like you're too close to your film, it's where you can't see certain things, and I'm like I get it, I totally get it, but definitely editing it was just really like I just found some times where I was like just gonna step away for a second. Like,
Sure.
it was just,
Yeah.
it was really, I would think about moments like, oh God, the scene that always gets me is like when my mom is like alone at the table and like she just starts to cry. And it's I remember, like, it was just so beautiful and I remember I like crying right next to Shanika when she was filming it. And you know, like, you just, she's like, how am I doing? And you're like, you're doing great. Like, just, and you just, like, you sit back. And, like, I can't imagine, like, writing a script and then, finally they're saying it. Like, people, like, directors always say that when they finally say it.
Yeah, that's
It's almost
bonkers.
like being a singer and then, like, you write your lyrics and then people are singing back to you.
Yeah.
But, like, that was one of the moments where I was like, I kind of think of Sincerely K, it is called Sincerely K because I don't know why, but all these poems that I had written during the time that I was going through the whole thing, or even like the effects of the whole thing, like I would find myself in relationships and I would be like writing about my relationships, and then at the end I would just write Sincerely K, like something about just putting your name on it felt like it wasn't wholly you, like so I don't know, or like almost like you felt ashamed of saying things, so you don't want people to know, so you just write K, something like that, you know. But yeah, no, like just all of those times, and I felt like the whole film was more like me going through the whole thing again, which wasn't really planned that it was me, but it all happened the way it needed to be.
Sure, yeah.
But it was almost like I was saying goodbye to all of those like moments just by going through it one more time, and it was like,
Oh, heavy.
it was, yeah, dude,
Therapy.
it has it just be right there.
Yeah.
Like you, like, oh, you're afraid of these feelings, like stand in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And like the scene where like the mom who's like sick and like we're wearing a wig and stuff. We weren't even supposed to cry in that scene. But to me, like, it's funny because at the end she's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to cry. And I was like, wow, bad direction. But the fact that she did, like, it was like, so she was like my stepfather's wife. And we kind of like got really close because we both were unsure about certain feelings in this part of the family. And we, like, she was just like my older sister and stuff. And then she got sick. And when she passed away, I was back home with my other family. And these are the things where, like, you don't know where you're allowed to feel these feelings or let it out. And, like, so, like, me having that relationship with her, like, even my brother, you know, my brother would be with his dad. And it would just be literally me and her. We'd be talking. And we'd have those moments where we were just like, is this normal? Da-da-da. You know, you have these great moments. And then, you know, she passes away and you're, like, in your room in this other house with this other family. And you're like, who do I talk to? Where do I put it? And my God, that moment when I was filming with her and she started crying, it made me cry. And it was like my goodbye. Like, it felt so, like, like that one, we weren't supposed to cry, but like I can feel Shinny because she's like, keep crying. Like, but it was like a lot of those things, and just a lot of those moments. And like same with like my other mom, you know, like we're both in the car and like I'm like, oh my God, we're like crying. And it's crazy when it all happens. It's crazy to see it on film, like but like, seeing it be up there, because you're just, it was almost like a split moment and someone caught it.
Yeah.
And you're able to see it again and again and again, and you're just like, wow, that really like happened. And, yeah.
And that needed to happen.
It all kind of just presented itself, you know. I there's this like someone said it a few days ago. Just ask for it, you know. Just put it out there, and it'll. I don't know.
Ask and you shall receive. Yeah. That's a way to live
So
my
it's
life,
kind of
for
like
sure.
I was like, okay, let's just do this. And
Wow.
yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yeah, it's
So
like, but when I think about it, that like emotion and having to like do it again, not again, but like having to like set up another scene and send this other emotion and do it again for like every weekend for like practically the whole semester.
Yeah.
Was really like hard. Like to be, because you want to just turn off. Like if there's anything I've been really good at is just withdrawing and just turning off and shutting down. And because I told myself I wasn't gonna give up and I had to give up my all to something, it was like I could feel myself shutting down. And I would just like, I was like, no, you can't. You can't. And I really think about like my therapist at the time, who he came to see my film.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and when literally when we're all taking pictures up at like carpet thing, when I saw him, I was just like, I gave him a big hug, and I was like, he believed in me, like he is like my mentor, like emotionally, and he would say, you know, clouds go over the moon, but the moon is always there, you know, things like that, and it's like no matter what, like we're just I don't know, it really like gets to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm glad. It sometimes I get scared because there's all of these feelings.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's next. It's like how what do you do but I heard this quote where a director said that we actually end up retelling our stories. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, it just doesn't enter. Because, I mean, that's where I think a lot of anxiety comes from. It's like, what's my next project? What's my next thing to do? And I'm really just trying to, like, shush that voice. And I'm like, it's going to happen when it needs to happen. But it's like, sometimes I'm like, how do I top that? This is so emotional for me. I don't know.
Well, you don't need to worry about topping it. Just what's the next true authentic story?
Yeah. And that's where I'm just, like, remembering what my therapist told me. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll always be there.
Did you enter into film festivals?
Yeah. I got it, which was so quick because I had just like done it last month. But I think it was because it applied for, like, if you apply for like the LA Cinefest, it automatically applies itself to the online monthly video.
Oh, okay.
And so I came like semi-finalist to it to be like part of the website for that month or something online. And that was really exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, awesome. Like, it was just like, it's crazy because you make this thing, you know, you hear your friends and they're the ones who are going to tell you it's great, and it's like, you really, like, I always think like, I heard this quote a long time ago where it was like, a rich man never knows if someone loves them, which is like awful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I kind of like put that with like film, and people can tell you it's great. No one's gonna like, you know, no one's gonna be like, this sucks, you know. And so I guess an awful way to look for a validation. But I also just was like, where is this in the spectrum, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just threw it out there, and like getting that was like, okay, someone gets it. Like, it was really exciting, and like my whole family was like super stoked.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, you didn't really make it for that. You really made it for yourself. Right?
The whole thing. Yeah. Like, remember, like, everything we just talked about, I'm like, like, this ain't for anybody else, because obviously I'm the one who's like, God,
Well, those are the films that really succeed. Like, those who have their heart and soul poured into them.
Yeah, I think it's the only way to go about it. I feel like, especially if you're asking help from, like, other people, like, you gotta at least be the only one who's, like, truly believes in it. Like, no one else is going to. But, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And so you've applied to grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you?
Now everyone's like, hey, so how's it going? What are you doing next fall? I did, and it's to NYU, and to USC, and to Chapman.
Okay, which one do you want to go to?
It's been like, at first I really wanted to go to USC.
Okay.
And then I realized that I had passed it's funny because Anne sent me an email being like, hey, did you realize that you applied for the cinematic studies? Like the critical studies.
Oh.
And I was like, and she was like, you should really apply to the production. And I was like, oh, yeah, because that's like, the deadline passed already. So I was hoping I could like get in and kind of like, you know, but like at the same time, I don't, like, something about that is just like, wow, you know, that just sounds like, I don't know, that's still there. And I really, like, I have family in California, and I had always, like, visit there when I was younger. And it was such, like, a fantasy land to me. Like, I always remember California as, like, this, I just have really, really odd memories there. But I wanted to go back. And I know for sure that I will live in California one day. For sure. Yeah. Like, there's no doubt about it. That's why I think my heart is going towards New York, because I feel like I have the energy to do
Experiment.
it, you know?
Yeah,
And
test
like,
the waters.
Out of your comfort zone.
yeah, and it's funny because after Paris, I was like, I'm never gonna live in a city again. Like, I don't like it, and I'm like, why do I gravitate towards New York? But I'm also terrible in the cold weather, so. But I don't know. I always thought that like, I'll live in New York when I get older, and I'll have enough money to buy myself like thick coats. And my grandmother, who was like, you should definitely apply to NYU, was like, don't even let that like stop you from applying. And I was like, true.
So
You're
true.
older than you've ever been
Yeah,
right now.
true.
Now you're older.
I was like, that sounds so deep. I am. I know. So it's funny because I used to tell my family that I felt like I was 28 in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was like,
Just how you were acting.
yeah, just like I sometimes I'd be like 28. It's just hilarious. And there's sometimes where I'm like, I'll go home and it'd be like 16. Like I'm a child. And so it's just like, sometimes I feel certain ages and it's just.
It's fluctuating.
Yeah. So it depends on the time and where I am. Because I really felt like I was on my own in Paris. Like the time zone too. Like you're like, I want to call my friends and like no one's awake. And I'm like,
Oh my God,
it's
so
perfect.
weird.
It was almost perfect that it really isolated me. Yeah. I don't know. But I hope, I have no idea how I'm even going to pay for it, you know? But I just decided I was going to like, just try.
You can get scholarships. You can get
Yeah.
grants.
Someone told me that today. Like,
Yeah.
just do the scholarships and stuff, and things will work out. And
You got so much going for you. First off, you're freaking talented.
Aw,
You're like super
thanks.
talented, but then also in the environment, it's like, you know, the age of the woman, and then minority
we
woman.
so are.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, you should have no problem. I think. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what 24 hours no sleep Kristle can do.
But I mean, the main thing is
Yeah.
you're fucking talented.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And
Thank
you
you.
have such a great passion for it.
Yeah, I just
Such a
want to
unique
keep
voice. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized like the whole like telling stories part and like your voice and style and telling a story, like that fluctuates. Like I think it really changes over time. But I really think like how we grew up and like the things that we ended up doing kind of show in our film. Although like mine was literally like what we were doing. Like it was like not that about it. But which I've been asked before if it was like about me. But like I sometimes wish I don't know who I said it to, but I was like, you know what? I wish I was as brave as her. But then someone was like, she was brave, and I was like, you know what? Maybe she was. But I don't know. You know, I just think let's just see how it goes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Day by day. Day by day.
Good. But yeah, are you working on any other projects too?
No, not well, kind of. It's hard to say. Well, there's this.
Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, wait. I don't know if you answered me earlier. When did you start this?
When did you graduate? When was your last semester?
Must have been a year ago.
So 20.
Wow.
2018.
Yeah, because I came on for Hella Calais, which was like
Oh,
a year
yeah?
ago.
Yeah.
That was a year ago?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Wait,
Spring? No.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't spring 2018 because I was in the midst of pre-production. For
Yeah.
RTL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you've been
I'm
doing
like-
this for 2 years, man.
This is,
Huh.
this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
this is, like, just.
It's all Cliff, man. Such production
Ah.
quality, really. It's so great.
Well, thanks. Yeah, you know, because at the time I wasn't able to do anything because I didn't even get into a 310 class until my second to last semester at ACM. So I just wanted to make stuff, and I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't have the time necessarily because Stormy was just like maybe a year old or not quite a year old at that point. So you know, figuring everything out, and this is like a really pretty easy thing to do. At
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
There's just a couple microphones, soundboard.
You don't have to, like, really
recorder.
go anywhere or something. You can just do
Yeah.
it in your house. Yeah.
Yeah, and so just over time, it's built up, and so I'm trying to really just get out there, you know. And so I felt like the next step was like live streaming, getting someone else on board. So Soup Kelsey's been amazeballs.
This is like a dream.
this.
Like,
It's pretty cool. It's a dream for me, for sure. And we were just talking about like paving your own way. And this is just kind of the way that we're experimenting with it.
Yeah,
But I also think it brings you people and conversations and learning more and.
Well, that's part of my
God.
motivation too. At this point, talking about stuff evolving over time. When I first started, I was just like, I just want to do a podcast because I want to do stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like kind of zeroed in, and I want to like talk to people to learn about their experiences as a filmmaker and like hearing how about your technique and whatnot on Sincerely K was great. And last week with Alex and that kind of thing. So. That's what's starting to really drive me, and the fact that some people might find that interesting, especially the people who are on, like your family, hopefully will want to watch and listen to this.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea how many people are on right now. How do you know? Can you tell?
There are 0 watching.
Oh,
now.
really? God, all these friends they call. No, but it's like, I just told like everyone I was like just gonna be out here and stuff.
Yeah.
Just get your like thing popping.
With this new evolution, there's still like road bumps we're working out. Like it took me 10 freaking minutes to log into Facebook.
Yeah. Technology. See, that's
And this is even where it ends. It's gonna, be edited together and be on YouTube, and then of course the podcast element itself, where it's just audio. So there's just gonna be so many different outlets for people to tune in. Because for me, I ingest podcasts just through audio, through my walks or when I do chores or driving.
Yeah.
I love it.
But like YouTube now, like it's like I know Howard Stern because I like watch it on YouTube. Like I like don't normally just go to his website and just listen to him. Like I watch the YouTube too. Like there's so many things to like put it on.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, it's amazing.
Forge your way, man. Yeah.
So yeah, this and now that I'm done with school, I needed to get a job, so I just got a job recently.
Oh yeah, what's your
doing
job?
Social media strategist.
Oh cool.
And still working on just getting onboarded into it. Like I just finally got an ID badge for it today. And
Oh,
Yeah.
legit, yeah. It's real now.
I haven't got my email address yet, so still waiting on.
Oh, they gotta get that email address. That's
Yeah.
nice.
And then trying to get my, actually my production company, which is just me and.
Oh, dude, I was about to do this. That's literally on my list this year, is to just do a like production company, and it's like me. I don't know.
That's how you
That's
start.
awesome.
Thanks.
So you already have it.
Yeah. I started a sole proprietorship a few years ago, and it's
Wow.
evolved into an LLC, and it's like producing this,
Wow.
and like RTL was a production of it. That kind
Wow.
of thing.
Yeah, I just kind of like write like the production name that I have
Yeah.
already in all the things that I made.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
just
how
like,
it starts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I sent you like I sent her my old like videos that I made.
Yeah, I noticed
Did
your
you-
production company. So is that like a mixture of all your names?
Well, one is like Ogbach Productions, which is like my old last name.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But there's one with Richardson and K. It's like K. Lewis Richardson.
Oh, that's my name. Like that's just my name.
Oh.
I just have like a long name. That's not really the production name,
Gotcha,
but I have a long name.
Okay.
Like
Where does this Kristle come from?
Crystal's my so I have 3 first names.
Okay.
And Crystal is the first. But my name and like Instagram like K Lewis.
Yeah.
Like Lois. Like I used to call it Louise when I was young. Or Lois. It's
Lois.
called Lois. But
That's what I read it as. When I
yeah, which I read for a long time until my mom told me that my aunt named me after Superman's girlfriend.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
so I was
awesome.
like, oh, Lois. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But that's my like Instagram name is K Lois, so it's just my name.
Yeah.
But then my name, I just changed my name to Backe like a year ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. My dad's like, don't get married until you're like older and stuff, and I'm like, okay. But the other production name that I wrote was like Mikaka,
Oh.
which is like Mika is my sister's name, and I just put K-A because I don't know why,
Yeah.
and I also I thought it'd just be like
It's a
my
little
shit
funny.
production.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, like I didn't think anyone would like get it, but those videos were just for my family.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I
So-
really enjoyed those videos. Thank you.
Yeah, did you see those
Yeah.
sketches? It's funny because
Yeah.
not a lot of people know about those sketches. So I was like, I'm just going to have her watch it and see
Yeah.
what she thinks about
Yeah.
it. It's hilarious.
It's so awesome.
Like
And-
we literally would sit down and we'd be like, what should we make our sketch about? And then we would just write it. And then my brother, who should be an actor, he's so funny. And he doesn't think I guess that's how he's been raised, but when he was young, he's always been like the show boy and like loves to perform and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Where does he live now?
he's in Saipan.
Okay,
And he's like
okay.
17.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he's gonna graduate soon.
Has he been doing acting classes?
Not at
or-
all. He's yeah. That's
Maybe
what I
he'll
mean.
find it later.
Like I think
in
when you're
him.
just it is so in him, but
Yeah.
I think our wants is like just changes when you're always like you're like Matt dance and he's like okay, and then now when you're older he's like I don't want to dance.
Yeah.
Like I keep trying to get him to do a short film with me, but he's not that into it. My sister is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know.
People
But-
change throughout
yeah.
time. Give him a couple more years and he'll realize who he
Yeah,
is.
I think he's figuring out like other things that he likes. He
Yeah.
likes drawing and stuff. My sister does too, and like he thinks he's gonna be you know what? He thinks he's gonna be a real estate agent because like
so random.
which I don't think it's random at all. I think he can like get people to buy anything, and I think he gets that from my mom.
Yeah.
Like my mom is really good at that.
Mm-hmm. He's persuasive.
Yeah, and because it's kind of like acting, I think. And so
true.
yeah, that's how it's gonna be. But yeah, no, we did all those like sketches, and my brother's so funny, and my sister is like, my favorite one is the beanbag life. It's like a sketch about like my brother's in a beanbag, and it's a portable beanbag. Because for some reason we saw a beanbag in our house that had no beans in it. So my brother decided to be in it, and he's like, I'm a portable beanbag. And so like my sister like sits on him anywhere everywhere. Like she'll just like plant the beanbag here and sit on him. It's like portable. But beanbags are portable always.
Now portable.
But he's like, and you can watch a movie in here. And I thought it was so funny. And there's like one where like my sister's a hula dancer and my brother's Michael Jackson, and the hula dancer's trying to teach Michael Jackson how to hula.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, yay! Just like really, it's just so funny.
SNL worthy, man.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my dreams. And I had this boyfriend once who was like, you're gonna be an SNL writer, and I was like, wow, really? Because no one ever thought that I
You're
would
gonna go to
ever
NYU, then you're gonna make a portfolio.
I
you're
would
gonna submit
love
it.
to. I want to be an intern at Conan so bad.
Steps, man. You're taking them.
I've always wanted to be an SNL writer, but I don't think I can perform like comedy stuff. But I've always
You can be a
wanted
writer
to
then.
write.
Just
Yeah,
be a writer.
But how you become a writer though? Like you do stand up. Like, there's just this
No.
path
You
that
write.
I don't
Have to.
have
When
to
you're a
take.
writer, you
exactly.
write.
You just write.
Exactly. I think it's fun, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just funny stuff. So fun.
Start writing sketches. That's
I would
so
love
great.
to. I would love to. And I try to go to Anna O'Brien's more to watch like the comedians.
Oh, no kidding.
So I can kind of like I don't know. I think I could like sometimes I have characters they like play the perfect characters and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, one day
Yeah.
when the universe aligns. Like,
Oh man, you gotta write all this down so you don't forget.
yeah, like all the you mean like all the ideas that I have in my head
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
goals that I want?
Oh,
That
both.
there's so many.
All of the above.
Too many.
All those
of.
vision boards that you throw away.
I know. It's funny because I have this like magazine that is like the awesome 80s, and I got all of these like Jodie Foster who got like an Oscar. Like I'm cutting out their Oscars and like putting it on my vision board. And I'm putting plants. One day I want to garden, books, and
Yeah.
have enough money to buy a lot of candles. I love candles. It's best gift.
I do want to say,
Yeah.
it says 0 viewers, but Sawyer commented that he is watching, so thank you, Sawyer.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a great shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
They
nice.
want a shout out. They just
You're
watch
really,
it.
you're really great.
And you mentioned Anna O'Brien's comedy.
Yeah.
Earlier it said Patrick Terrell was watching. He's a promoter. He
Oh yeah.
heads up, I think, Square Barrels and sometimes Anna O'Brien's comedy night.
Awesome.
Yeah. And actually, he was on the podcast a few episodes back.
Yeah, I was listening to that one too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which I didn't know that.
Yeah, it all
It's
connects.
such a small
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
Such a
small island.
world.
Yeah.
Small island.
I was just, I don't know. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So shout outs to a couple folks.
What's up,
That's so cool.
Yeah, we gotta check that out. I would love to go comedy watching.
That's so
with
cool. You know, when I told some people about this podcast, they're like, "Hey, can I call in?" And I'm like, "Wow, that'd be so cool if you
Yeah,
could."
so you can comment.
Yeah,
live stream.
Yeah, like because there's like, can I recommend some songs? Can I ask you a question? And I'm like, yo, stop.
I almost told you to bring your guitar.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
like, start
I
jamming
would
out.
have. I'm
Maybe next time.
I'm dude. I'm all. If you need like a what do you call that?
Oh, a
like
theme?
a break. break. No, like you know when you're like, well, we'll come back with Kelsey Green. Here's a song with Kristle Backe, you know, and I'll be right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, man.
Yeah, I'd be so down.
That'd be awesome.
And plus I need a band, someone.
Oh, okay.
I so want a band. Like no joke. Like, and it also like really like made it feel possible when I like when Shanika brought me to that concert to film, and it was like, these are just like a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Yo, like we could just like I went to like Craigslist too, and I was like, is anyone looking for a singer or a guitarist? But I really, really want a band.
Wow. Did anyone respond on Craigslist?
No, I didn't put it up. I was just looking if
okay.
someone was looking.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be in a band. Well, sketchy, but also like I feel like if you're the one who started it, you would have to lead it and da-da-da. I'm kind of looking for people who already have drummers and people who have music. I don't know. So I just started following a bunch of people on like Instagram.
That's really smart.
Like who play like local bands here,
Yeah.
and I like look up local bands, and I looked them up on Instagram, and I follow them. And some people write their own songs, and I really want to write songs for people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found myself writing the other day, and I was like, wow, this is the best song I've written like ever.
Nice.
And I remember I was like it was like a break from work or something, and I was outside at like Royal Hawaiian, and I was like writing. And I was like, just keep writing, just keep writing. I feel like I'm holding my tears back. I'm like, not at Royal Hawaiian. And I'm like really like writing out the whole song and stuff. But I don't have music to it, and I feel like it would drive me insane if I had to think of all these different tracks and all these background things. Like I feel like
But do you see
I work
yourself
better.
singing it, and maybe someone could write the music for you?
It is a dream for me to sing it because like
You wrote it, get your guitar, set up your phone, Instagram it, live Facebook it, whatever.
yeah.
And put it
And then
out
some
there.
people have right?
Yeah.
I did. Alex was filming once. Alana and I was playing a song, the A-Team by like.
I
Ed
watched that
Sheeran.
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I sent it to you.
sent it to me,
Yeah, and it
So
was
great.
it was like super. It was just like we just did it really quick, and it was really fun. And I just put it up.
It's great.
And that was like the first singing video that I've ever put up.
What?
Yeah, right.
You need to be doing a lot more of these. You should be doing it on a daily basis.
I should. And I do. I record myself a lot, but the thing is, I'm really bad at lyrics. So it's
What are you
like,
talking about? You just wrote the best song ever.
no, but not writing it. But like when I sing other people's songs, it's really hard because I always want in my head. I hear a different word or line, and as I'm singing, I'm like kind of like singing my line over the song, and I'm kind of like that's not the line, and and I'm like making things up. I don't know.
Something to that, maybe.
I really, really want to. You know, people tell me, like, you know, being a filmmaker, you're really brave. And I'm like, nah, I'm not even brave. If I could be a musician, that's brave.
That's brave.
Yeah, like my real dream is to be a musician.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, and filmmaking, it's funny because I'm like, filmmaking, right there. But it's like, it's just as scary, but if I were really pursuing music, I think I would be, really, like I would feel a lot more, like more heartbreak and more like passion and more like to because it's so hard.
Yeah.
I think it's so hard to be a musician. There's so many, and like I asked the girl that I was tutoring today, and I was like, so tell me, like I'm like doing a fake interview, like what would your best life look like, you know? And she'd be like, I don't know. She told me about like watching TV or something. But like my best life is going to work and like writing with a group of people and sometimes visiting set if I have to, and then going home and then seeing my family and then or maybe I'm like 28. So maybe I don't have kids. But like me and my husband would just go to a bar that we go to all the time, and then I would just like they'll be like Carl will go on stage and be like, Kristle, get up here. And I'd be like, man, Carl, okay, fine. And then I go up and I sing. And it's just like a day. That would be the best day in a best life that I could possibly think that I like wish for. So I don't like as a musician, I don't strive to be like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it's bad to strive that, but I want to like be able to just sing with the live music. Live music, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear the beat of the drums. I want to strum. Like I feel like something happens when I'm like in a karaoke bar and I sing through a microphone compared to when I'm home and like the walls are so thin.
Yeah.
And especially like I remember in Paris, like I would always be in my room either watching a movie, painting and drinking wine, or like playing guitar. Like those things. Yeah. And he's just like, well, you never leave your room. And I'd be like, yeah, you know, I kind of just find like I really enjoy what I do in my room, and I can feel myself defending myself. And I'm just like, I just like things like that. And he's just like, you're really weird. But I just like playing guitar a lot.
Yeah,
and just in my room and stuff.
Yeah.
I did. If you guys want to jam out, I'm always down to jam out.
So awesome.
Like I'm always down to play.
Okay.
I feel like it's a really vulnerable thing that musicians do. You know, you're really
To
exposing
sing?
yourself.
Oh my
Versus
God.
filmmaking, you know, where you're kind of hiding behind a camera or a script, and you could say it's not about you. You know, if you're making like sincere you can be like, no, it's not about.
Oh
me.
yeah, totally,
You know?
Yeah,
But you're writing
no,
songs,
you're right.
you're singing it, your
You're
passion
right
is
there, and then like it's like being calm enough so your voice isn't like shaking and stuff.
Yeah.
So my mom turned like 40 and I turned 21, and we put our birthdays only are like 7 days apart.
Oh, wow.
So we put our birthdays together, and my mom has never experienced prom before, so the theme was prom. And my dad came in one of those suits, like you know, Dumb and Dumber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and my dad's like, I'm picking you up, honey. And it was so funny. Like, me and my mom got ready at, like, her salon. Like, she, like, owns a salon.
Oh.
And so, it was so funny. And then I went up there, and right before, we presented prom king and prom queen. And my brother and my sister were up there on stage, and I'm like, and it's my mom and my dad.
And the chances.
And like I sing them a song, so they slow dance to it. And I remember it was Can't Help Falling in Love by like Elvis Presley, and I just froze. And these people are like people I see all the time,
Right.
and to the
they
point,
love you unconditionally.
yeah, right. And I was just like. Not, like I didn't just freeze, but like I just tried, and then I was like the key's too low. Like I'm like, okay. Like it was not good. And I remember my mom like looked at me and she was like, oh, I need to help her. And so she goes up and she starts to sing, and she like and it just felt better and stuff. But it was just like you know, even when it's your family, like you get really nervous. Like I remember I played for my I wrote a song for my dad, and I played it for him with the whole family, and we would like set up camping lights and like put it like in front of a blanket, and I'd go on there and I would like cry singing a song, and I couldn't make it through, and then my brother gives me sunglasses. So I put on sunglasses and then I finished the song. And it's like nighttime and it's only camping lights.
Oh
just so like you wouldn't see me cry, but you could like it was so funny.
So great.
That's awesome.
So great.
But yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. It's definitely up there.
Okay.
You're not far off from that, man.
Oh, dude,
Little by little.
yeah, you know, I just gotta keep going. It's crazy because you feel and think of all these things, but when I see those people like performing up there and I see them on backstage, I'm like, dude, how do you do that? And they're like, you just go up there. And I'm like,
one foot after the
true.
other. You just go. There's
Literally.
open mics everywhere.
True. You know what? I'm getting a car soon.
Yeah.
And I told myself I was gonna go to Hawaiian Brian's, and there's an open mic in the studio. Like it's like there's 3 venues, and one's called the studio, and they have like open mics there. And I'm like, that's it. Like I'm coming here as often as I can, and like eventually, you know. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
They do open mic at On Stage on Kapahulu every Tuesday night. If you need another one.
Where?
On Stage. It's called On Stage.
Oh, in the corner.
Yeah, on the corner.
Yeah, near Safeway.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday.
I
Like,
definitely
really light crowd. You wouldn't have to be nervous.
No, I love that. I also went to Anna Bryan's, and I went up there to sing once.
Okay.
Wow.
It's funny because I was like underage, and I like had like a fake ID, and the fake ID had like the name Kirsten or something. And so like when I go in, like my friends would be like Kristle, and I'd be like, not tonight. My name is Kirsten, and I just like a guitar, like a guy, like a friend of mine's friend was like a musician, and he ended up playing like Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I'm gonna sing this, and so we went up there and we sang, and it was a good time. So I'm always
Just
up.
do more
Like
of that.
every like bar that I've gone to, I've been like, can I go up? Even like when like the first
you're
bar that me and
doing
my mom went to on our
Yeah.
birthday. Right after, I was like, let's go, because my mom does the same thing. I found a video of her where she like did the same thing at a bar that I now go to back home, and like everyone knows her because she goes up there and sings, and I'm like, wow, I'm just like my mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that's so
Maybe you
beautiful.
just need to get you a persona, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, you're
How?
not Crystal.
You're like,
come up with a
get
new
a
name,
persona.
sunglasses,
Yeah.
and
that way?
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Always wear your hair in a ponytail. Just do the art.
Like Lady
Yeah.
Gaga, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh my God. Which I
Christina.
have totally been doing for the past for a while now,
Just be
actually.
a different person when you're
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I think the songs aren't very like pop or something. It's very like I love Ray LaMontagne. Like I
Yeah.
really like the quiet stuff, and it's like
Okay.
I don't know. It's just so. My mom used to just. I remember when I first wrote a song, and my mom's like, "Why does that be so sad?" I'd be like, "Cause just let me cry," which is crazy. And I think the reason why I am like that is because a lot of times growing up is kind of just like keep a strong face on, you know,
Yeah.
all the time, and then now that. I find more strength in being vulnerable and like just letting it out.
Sure.
And I think it's helped definitely
Yeah.
more than keeping it in. I feel like it's hurts even more to keep it in.
Yeah.
But I think there's a time and place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've definitely had to learn the hard way. Like sometimes I'm like, I should have cried here. Yeah. Like I feel like this year has been a lot like about like friendship and stuff. Because 2 nights before I left Saipan, it's a funny thing because my mom's like, oh God, here it goes again. But I was getting my hair done and everything.
Okay.
And my mom's just like, hey, you should invite all your friends to come to the house. And I was like, okay. So I invited friends. Since I hung out with my family a lot the whole time, I didn't really get to see my friends that often. And so I kind of just called them up and was like, hey, you guys should just come over to the house. And I came home and I was like the last one there because my hair took forever. And the people who were just like, I remember going to my front yard and I could see like that there camp lights in the corner and stuff. And then there was chairs and there were people and there was a projector and a screen. And I just like all of these, like the people who were just at the salon, you know, my mom's like workers and then my dad's friend and like my friends, like they all came out to like see, just like for like an hour and a half. And just to see my film, you know?
Aw.
And I just remember like my sister's so funny. She's like 10 and she's like presenting Kristle and she made this film like a year ago and everyone turn off your phones, enjoy the movie. Like it was just really funny. And then everyone's like, explain the movie, say something. And I just like started to like cry. And like it's funny because like it's just funny because I do this all the time. And I can see my mom just being like, oh my God, this girl. But it's just like I really find that home is like a safe place to be able to do that. And for a long time, I feel like it's kind of hard, you know, here when these people like if they ever work for you or work with you, they want to know that you're strong and that you can handle things. And like sometimes it doesn't always feel that safe to like do that. And so at home, I totally like milked it. Like I was totally like,
You
yeah,
deserve
okay.
it.
But then, you know, things like that where like friends can make you feel that way. That's why I feel like coming back, like it's your friends. It's like I'd like to think like you can sell out a whole stadium full of people and sing for them, but it will never give you the same sensation as like your best friends in the front row.
Sure.
Oh my God, you know. So it's the people like. And if you can't, like, if you keep longing for home, that's always just gonna be home. But if you can make home here, you know, it's gonna be your friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, you know, like a friend of mine came over once and just like started crying, and she's like, you know, I gotta go, and I was like, no, don't go. Like this is where you nurture it, you know, like the
Safe
friendship.
space. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I'm really like trying to, and now that I'm gonna get a car, I can finally like find the time to go out of my way to go see my friends because I feel like it's always been the opposite.
Wow.
You know, like even like it feels kind of be like, hey, you want to hang out? Okay, drive here.
Yeah.
Come over. You want to go to the beach? Okay, come pick me up.
Yeah.
So it just sucks, but like asking for help or just asking,
Sure.
just do it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get a car. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. My mental health is just gonna be like so much better. I just miss like a really good friend of mine who like I found that I was gonna like do a 24-hour layover in Guam, and I was just like, who am I gonna stay with? I went to this girl's birthday when I was in high school, and like she, like I just asked her if I could possibly stay with her, and she picked me up. She gave me her car to use the whole day.
Oh, wow.
And she has like a kid and everything.
Oh my
she
gosh.
goes to work and stuff, so I pick her up after work and stuff.
Oh.
And she gave me a place to stay. She dropped me off at 5 a.m. in the morning at the airport. And it's like
Wow.
friends, yo.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, what do you do? Like, how do you thank someone, you know? Like, all the things that they do for you. So you just gotta, like, be there when they need you and stuff. But, like,
yeah, return that favor for someone else.
yeah,
Forward.
definitely.
That's really beautiful.
But, yeah, and, and I know, like driving a car. Like, I just drove for hours.
Yeah.
Around Guam.
Hours.
Wow.
I just
It's been so
kept
beautiful.
driving.
Nice.
And I can't wait to just do that more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just drive more. Yeah.
Such a freeing thing to just be alone in a car.
Yeah.
Get music up loud.
Yeah. I've never driven here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna love it.
You're like,
No.
so watch out,
There's some
everyone.
bad parts, but there's some
Yeah.
good parts.
Yeah. It's not
You
always.
take that road past Sandy's all the way to Waimanalo. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first got here in 2012, it took a while for my car to get here. So finally I was like, oh yeah, I can rent a car. And so I did that, and the first time I did it, I just like drove all the way around the island.
Wow.
Because I grew up on the mainland, and I'm accustomed to long distances between places.
Yeah.
In reasonable times,
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. I used to, so I can like sleep in between car rides. Like I can just knock out, because in Texas everything was really far away from each other.
Yeah.
And people are just like, how do you do that? Like we're just going to like Ward, And I'm like, dude, you can do it. It's fine. It's just like 5 minutes.
And road trips are so great.
Yeah. And just like, because that's what we did in Texas to New Orleans.
Oh,
when my
wow.
parents got married in New Orleans and everything.
Nice.
But road trips, oh my god, Taylor Swift songs back to back to back. 2 hours, dude. My parents got sick of it. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I have no shame in like loving her, so.
Right?
For a while I was, and I was like, nah, she's the reason why I'm
Yeah, I was
who
kind of
am.
sad for a little bit being a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, right? People just shamed you for it.
Oh, huh.
I don't know where that came from.
That's over.
Yeah, 1989 changed everything.
Yeah. It's coming back.
Brother, another Taylor Swift fan. I'm loving it.
Are you?
Did you hear that? 1989 changed that.
What?
I know. Love it.
What? Wow. That's the only album that I don't have, actually. And I only know the few songs.
That's the only
Like
album
on
I
vinyl?
do have.
Yeah. I love it.
You're talking about on vinyl?
What do you mean?
Like on vinyl, like a
no,
record?
just at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, weird. Wow, I
right,
love
yeah.
that one.
I mean, I got it on after. Oh my God, I got Apple Music a few days. Not even a few days ago. Maybe a month ago, and I have like more than 1,000 songs on there. Like I like took everything from Spotify and like brought it over.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I got her album and I just started listening to it. So
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
So good. Delicate. It's one of my favorite songs. And
Dude, the best day.
I don't know that one.
It's her first album.
Oh, okay.
The Best Day is definitely over there, and All Too Well, because
Oh yeah. I like
All Too Well.
Well.
Do you know the song All Too Well?
No, I was just thinking. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I just remember like washing dishes and she played it in the Grammys. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
that gold dress and she's like there. My dad's like on his phone and like on the couch and then it's playing on the TV and I'm like washing dishes and I was like
drop
halfway.
everything.
Yeah, I drop everything. I go in the front and I just had like broken up with my boyfriend or something and I remember I was like singing the song and crying and then at the end he's like, what is this? Why? Like, why? What did you just do? And I just didn't say anything and went back to washing dishes. But
Oh, that's so great.
he's just like, what is happening?
There's power there.
But I like performed it for him. Like I was like there in the background and I'm like really singing. But what were you saying?
Oh, and the song "You Belong with Me" to me. Yeah, I remember when that first came out. I always wished a girl was dedicated to me. But
Oh,
Sweet. So
Never
sweet.
did. That's okay.
God, yeah, that's a good song. That never gets old. That never gets old.
Right.
That's like an old
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
That and Love Story. I used to be
Yeah.
obsessed with.
Oh,
Love
it was Love
so
Story that
good.
did it for me.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
T Swift.
That's awesome. Aw, respect. I respect. You earned some brownie points just.
Oh, nice.
That was really great. But
Well, I just got into, sort of got into, I now appreciate Lady Gaga. Because
because of
our class with Dr. Lynn Mann, the film studies class.
yeah.
And he referenced Lady Gaga a couple times,
For what?
just in conversation.
Really?
I don't remember exactly what it was. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was our class.
Yeah, no, that was our class, but I don't remember the Lady Gaga part.
Oh, yeah, I don't either. Just he referenced it and everyone laughed or whatever, and I was like,
Oh, because he quoted her.
Yeah, quoted her. It's like
So
love it.
funny.
maybe talking about how sensibilities of a film are different. Like Lady Gaga does hers, whatever. And
Interesting. Oh, interesting.
I don't remember exactly.
Although I just watched
Stars
Like,
Born.
I have not.
Oh, I thought that's what you were gonna bring
Yeah,
up.
I
Oh my God,
watched.
you gotta
I
watch
saw.
it.
I know, but everyone keeps telling me, I would love it, and I know I would. And I told myself I was gonna listen to the songs until I saw it, but I couldn't help it. It was so good.
Yeah.
But I would definitely quote Lady Gaga when she said she was on the red carpet and she's going to the Golden Globes or something like that, and someone had asked her what do you think? How do you feel when people give you bad reviews and stuff? And she's like, you know what? Films, things that we make, they're like gifts. They're really just gifts, And I was like, huh, true. She's like, you don't have to have it. You don't have to like it. They're just gifts for the world, And I was like, it's so it's so true, they're not really for anyone. They're just kind of there if you want it.
Right.
I can't remember his name. P.T. Anderson? Paul Thomas Anderson.
yeah.
Had a recent quote. I guess it wasn't recent. It was something he said to John Krasinski, which he relayed in a recent interview, about how he never says he hates any films. Because even if you don't like it, if you talk shit about it or anything, then that's saying that person shouldn't make art. And just because you're not into it doesn't mean it's not artful or it's not an expression of who they are or anything. So that's really changed my perspective.
Yeah.
There are films I don't really like, but or actually after doing Crossroads and seeing everything that went into that, and prior to that, I helped judge films for a short film festival.
Oh, really?
It's not huge. It was HFC's thing.
Well, that's cool. When do you get the credibility to be your stuff,
Just the pre-screen, which films are gonna get in and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I
totally
took a dump on some of them. I was like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
But then after that one day of shooting, I was like, oh my God, I'm such an asshole.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, so much going into it. Yeah. And I've not shat on any films ever since then, and then just hearing that thing recently, I'm like, affirm, be positive.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be. I want to be a positive force in the world.
Yeah.
I've gotten kind of crusty in my old age.
I wouldn't call you Christy.
Thanks.
But I feel like we definitely I feel like we need to support more people and stuff, but
definitely.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's hard not to not surround yourself in it. I feel like
in negativity
in negativity. Actually, maybe
what?
I don't know which.
It's hard to not surround yourself with what?
It's hard not to surround yourself with negativity because you're always it's always there.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone just has opinions.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, I also feel like it's really hard to say someone should never make films again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they needed who else. I feel like if you say that, I don't think that anyone. I don't know. How can you say that?
Well, yeah. Or at the very least, you shouldn't just say someone should never make films again, because how are they going to get better?
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be there to be better.
At the very worst, you could say, film a shit, but you'll get better. Just do this, and this differently, you know? Or like, I would suggest
Or
this.
just, yeah.
You know, like do the sandwich thing. Start off with like a positive, like, hey man, I see all the or lady, whatever. I see all the hard work you put into it. Now this part really sucked. Really lost me.
Yeah.
But I see potential. You can get there.
Oh man, I've heard that. Like that's it. Like you really lost me there. Yeah, I totally feel like I was really iffy about the whole going to Philippines section part of my film.
Oh really?
Oh, definitely. Because one, I don't know if anyone would be like, Philippines, you know, which I totally understand.
You mean entering it into a festival?
No, the
like portraying it.
the film, yeah, like the very last part that feels so outside of its like the whole thing. It feels like a different chapter.
Yeah.
And just like I remember I was talking to Anne and I was like, how do I make something feel like it was like never, like it was kind of just, it kind of happened and it just, there was no transition to it and it was just this part of my life that I like was just like put there. And she's like, just put it there.
Yeah.
And I was like, true. True. Like literally that's how I feel, like it just happened. Like that's what the seed is.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I definitely, people are like, yeah, you kind of lost me there. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of lost me. I remember being there being like, and who are you? You know, like my dad. And
Wow.
yeah. And the crazy moment, which I think is like, is you know, you're running away from like this broken family or this image of what you think a family is and you don't like it. And so you're like, you know, I'm going to go back to my roots and I'm going to find who I am and who the people who are actually my family. And you go there and these strangers are kind of like, I love you, you know, we're always here. And it's not like, that's unconditional love, but it's crazy because I think the real family who's always been there, who has raised you and you know, are the ones you're running away from, or at least what I felt like I was running away from. And so that's what it felt like. And it was kind of like, I'm looking at him and then I'm thinking about my family. And I'm like, oh, that's family. That's my family. So I would come back and that's like, and also like, you know, I don't know. I could just say so much about my film. But it's like throughout the whole change and stuff, I think the only constant I've ever had in my life was my brother, because we had to move back and forth. And he knew what happened when I was with my dad. He knew what happened when we were with our mom, you know. And so he's like the only person that's always like been there right next to me the whole time. And then, I don't know, the last part I'm just like walking with my brother on the beach.
Is your relationship good with him now?
Yeah, it was tough at first, kind of like being a teen. My parents keep telling me, you were just a teenager, you don't have to be so hard on yourself, you know. Yeah. But I think like deep down, and which is the foundation, like, you know, like I think what really made me feel the first time I've ever felt like worthiness was questioned was when you know, like my parents got into a fight and then my dad brings my brother and not me, when in my eyes he had always been my father, you know. And so that's when I was like, oh, my brother, he's the one who's like loved. And I think there's been a lot of like jealousy and like, you know, I wish, like, I remember when we all saw his family, like, and I was the only odd one out. It was like everyone loved my brother, you know, and I felt different. And so, like, so it's changed over the years, and I think a lot of that really, like, especially when you're a teenager and you're like, oh, like, get away. I was very mean to my brother, and my parents, you know, are like, you're just a teenager and stuff. Yeah. But it's like, it's different now, because I think, like, me and my brother don't need to say anything, and we kind of feel each other. Like, I can hug him, and he knows exactly what I'm feeling. And like, he's also the one who, like, when I start crying, he's like, he's like, there she goes again. But it's changed over the years, because I used to have years without crying, like a single tear. Oh. Yeah, you know? Wow. And, like, keeping this strong face on and, like, not showing to anyone, and you're like, who really am I? I don't know. But yeah.
Wow. Kristle, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
You're so wonderful. You're so multifaceted and multi-talented, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
I can't wait. You guys, dude, it's like, aw.
I really, really think that's the right spot for you. But, you know,
I feel like everyone says that too. I'm looking forward to anything. But I am not this person without, I feel like the answers won't be there without the questions.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like it's the people, and it's like what they bring them out of you, and it's like you know, you
And
guys
it's the obstacles too.
definitely
That'll make you who you are as well. Yeah.
But yeah, this is so cool. Like, this is so cool. You have no idea. Like, I feel like it's also really nice how it feels like I'm kind of just, it's crazy because I'm also really glad how you're like, oh, nobody's watching. And I like, it kind of gave me confirmation. I was kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
But it also just is like a room, like, and you're just like talking.
Yeah. Just happen to be these big things in front of our faces.
Yeah, which I'm so used to. I literally have a microphone in my room that's like facing me at all times.
Nice.
It's not connected or anything, but it's just there.
That's awesome.
Like, it's just there. Yeah, like sometimes I'll connect because I just brought it back home. Like it was my old. It's when I record that Taylor Swift song. So I have these real old microphones.
Nice.
And I finally brought it back because I told myself I was gonna write music. And it's crazy because an Uber driver was like, yeah, you do too many things. Like, don't you want to just like do one thing and then see how far it goes? And I was like, you know, I found myself writing poems and writing songs when I was doing Sincerely K. I would like edit and I would do all these just more editing, and it was driving me insane. I didn't want to like watch films. Like, I don't want to watch films. I don't want to edit films. I don't want to be filming. I want to do something else. So I end up like, so I feel like everything that I'm doing is kind of like going at the same pace.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the end result is, but I'm kind of
That's
just
fine. That's totally
Just
fine.
keep doing you.
Yeah.
Unapologetically, right?
Yeah. Is there anything you want to promote or like tell us how
can
we can?
anyone see Sincerely K anywhere, or are you just keeping it closed off for Film Fest right now?
It's right now. It's closed off for film festivals, but I'm also just like, I have been just sending it to a bunch of people because like they're kind of like, where can we see it? And I'm like, you can just ask me. I'll just send it to you. And like, I don't think there's anything wrong with just sending people your video and like their passwords and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
so either.
Like, I don't know. I feel like people would be afraid like they're gonna submit it as their own film or something. But I'm like, I don't think that's possible. Like, I think people would know whose face that is. I don't know. But yeah,
So people
just
can
ask
find you
me.
like on Instagram, and maybe they can ask you if they want to see.
Yeah, which you know what's crazy? It's because I have a private like Instagram, and I also have a private Facebook. Like, I don't have any like public anything, but I think you could. Huh?
You should make a website.
Oh, I do have a website.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, what is it? I don't remember. I don't really remember, but I'll find it. But it's not really set up. That's why. Because I made it while I was in Paris. Like
wow.
So it has like a lot of old like. It's funny because when it got into HIF, I kind of just made a really quick poster and it was like, watch it at HIF, and I'm like, no one goes to this website. So it's there. There's a bunch of pictures, and there's like a poetry section, a music section, and film. So I guess you can find me there.
It's not kristlebacke.com, or...
You know, I'd like to think it is, because I think it's literally Wix like .com and then like / and then it's just Kristle Backe.
Okay.
And I don't think I low-key want to think it's Sincerely K, but I don't think I'd name it Sincerely K. I think I think
it broad maybe.
Yeah, because I just wanted people to like look it up. But I think you just like find me at K Lois on Instagram and then just like privately message me.
Yeah.
Like you can like slide into my DM. You'll say now.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you can like not be my friend and still do that, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Send a message.
right.
Okay.
I mean, no one ever has.
What's up, world?
Yeah, but anyone can basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's about it. I don't really have like.
That's really generous
I used to
of
have
you.
like Twitter and stuff, but I'm glad that it did. Oh my god. Do you remember? I don't remember, but you would do write time quotes and people would like vote on it and they go like.
I don't remember that.
It used to have like a cow in the front. In the
Oh my
app.
god, I never had Twitter, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I see. I'm glad Twitter ended in high school, but yeah, that's where you would.
It's
Probably
still very
find
much
me.
a thing, but just not in Hawaii.
True.
Hawaii
it
just
is
does
much a
not
thing.
tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it lately. Like I was like, I should probably get Twitter, just because I kind of found like news that way too. But
Yeah.
you just get news apps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see you post more videos of yourself singing.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's my goal this year to do that more, and that's like, yeah, I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of my shell and stuff, and Yeah, and
Little by little, step by
yeah.
step.
It was my brother. He was like, "Why aren't you singing?" And I'm like, "Huh, you're right. You're right." But yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And good luck at your new teaching job. When does it start?
Thanks. It starts in 2 days. Well, and it starts Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be really intimate, and I'm excited and nervous also.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You're
I'm
gonna
just
learn
gonna
so much
see.
by doing it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna learn so. You're just gonna build relationships, and it's gonna help you be a better director. I think maybe.
Yeah, I want to practice because I really believe in tolerance and like you're not supposed to like hit it like at 100 all the time, but I feel like if you just keep doing something for a long time, you'll just get used to it, and I just hope like. And you're gonna like feel like you're dragging yourself, but then you'll like eventually get over the hump, and you're just gonna be like, oh, this is normal now. So I hope because it's been a long time since I've taught like just like day after day after day or week after week.
Yeah.
So I just hope I'm like keep it consistent.
Sure.
Instead of like giving hope halfway through, you know.
Aw,
Yeah.
I have faith in you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's
yeah,
like
I
once a
hope
week.
All
the way through.
So I hope it works.
Yeah.
It'll work.
It will.
works
It
out.
definitely will. They're very lucky to have you. These kids, they don't even know.
They don't even know, which is weird because like I kind of like it. I kind of like.
Your anonymity.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. I like that too.
I kind of like that's kind of maybe one of the reasons why I don't like put any of my stuff out there or stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I have like opinions about that. But, like, let's unpack that another day.
Sure.
Do you have a
But, yeah.
Finsta? Like where you just make
What's a Finsta?
It's like a fun Insta where like you have a different name and like maybe you
Oh,
post
I
videos
did
not
for
of you.
traveling.
Okay, yeah.
And
That's a nice
then
outlet, you're not you.
yeah, I did for traveling, and then because I took a bunch of travel pictures and I didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Put them out there, put some hashtags
yeah,
up,
so I have that, but I don't really like go on it and stuff. I have like I found out how to do that alarm now where it's like, okay, you've been here for an hour, you know. So I kind of like I'm not really on it anymore.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I try to like
What app is that?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram will tell you?
Yeah, you can like go to your settings and be like,
I need
remind
that.
me
Wow.
that I've been here for 3 hours at most.
Wow, yeah.
You know, throughout the day, and it's like 9 a.m. and he's like, you've been here for an hour, and I'm like, damn, I need to get out of bed, you know. So it's like I leave it for nighttime, and sometimes I don't like having I don't like thinking about it before I go to bed, so I just try not to get on it at all.
At that.
Yeah, which is really weird because like some people are like, oh, I'm not Instagram, I'm just like taking a break, and to me, I think it's like really stupid, but
It's legit.
yeah, I really think when people are like, yeah, I'm just gonna be here, be there, be with my family, be with my friends, just be there. So yeah, I wish I was more on top of it, which is why I wish I had like I don't know. I was gonna say I wish I had an assistant, but that's weird. You know, like so to just keep like updating people.
And it's so necessary too. Our social
Really?
media, our social media personas is so necessary these days. Don't you
To
think?
like update. I think so because
with the
people
careers
don't
that we're
know.
going for
Yeah, true.
anyway.
Yeah.
True.
I would love
We
an
have
assistant
to.
for that.
And like in some way like having to sell yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really
Responding to people.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
reach out through that more than text or more than phone calls
Yeah.
these days. Yeah.
And like people are like, "What are you doing? What's your projects?" And I'm like, "Man, because when you do one post, like everyone just knows, and like people will bug you or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you're just killing like all these birds with one stone. But it's also just like, but I don't want to post.
And then it's gonna disappear.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get older and then it's cool and I want to be in it. I
we
don't
live
know.
and we learn, and it's okay to be a different person every day and have a
Sure.
different opinion about it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We gotta learn to forgive ourselves. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, this has been great.
Yeah,
been
thank
really,
you
really
for
fun.
having
Thank
me.
you.
I've had like
So fun.
this is a great this is
It's
fun.
a fun outlet, right?
This is
Yeah.
and this is a nice thing to do. Like you can go to bed tonight and be like, what did I do today? And you'd be like, I was on a podcast, and you get to say this every week. Like that's awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Really, thank you, Cliff, for this opportunity.
yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah,
Great stuff.
really. It's a great
Yeah,
opportunity.
it's fun to have folks over.
And giving back, and this is gonna exist like for all of eternity. So your kids one day.
Oh
are gonna
my
be able to
God, that's
hear
awesome.
This Kristle right now.
That's
You know,
awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, you mean like the recordings?
Yeah. Once it's on the internet.
That's so true. I thought you meant just like this like podcast, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I did this video, and I'm like, maybe. But yeah, no. I mean, that's why I appreciate film in general.
Sure,
We just keep things forever.
Definitely.
But thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
So glad you could make it.
And like it's crazy to finally like sit down, like it's just to like talk and stuff. I feel like it's been a while, and especially with you, like I don't think we've properly sat down and talked.
Right.
So it's just really nice.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for everyone who watched the live stream. Sawyer, thank you.
Sawyer, you're the best.
And so we're gonna have to try and figure out when to start putting produced episodes out the next couple weeks or so, I guess.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. All right. So good night, everyone.
Bye.
Not that that's weird.
Yeah.